There's something in your voice makes my heart beat fast. Hope this feeling will last for the rest of my life. If you knew how lonely my life has been, and how long I've been so alone. If you knew how I've wanted someone to come along and change my life the way you've done. It feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I come from. It feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. A window breaks down a long dark street, and a siren wails in the night. But I'm alright, 'cause I have you here with me. I can almost see through the dark there is a light. If you knew how much this moment means to me, and how long I've waited for your touch. If you knew how happy you are making me, I never thought that I'd love anyone so much. It feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I come from. Feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. Feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. I think it is a distant but beautiful memory when we all think of the house that we grew up in. And if anyone else had the pleasure of building your own house like I did, then you would understand just how special it is to see your dad laying the floor down, nail by nail and board by board, and he'd come home from working and be covered in sweat and dirt. And the work of a father is very important and should never be taken for granted. So thank you, fathers, for the blood, sweat, and tears. They say you can't go home again. I just had to come back one last time. Ma'am, I know you don't know me from Adam, but these handprints on the front steps are mine. Up those stairs in that little back bedroom is where I did my homework and I learned to play guitar. I bet you didn't know, under that live oak, my favorite dog is buried in the yard. I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. Out here it's like I'm someone else. I thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could just come in, I swear I'll leave. Won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me. Mama cut out pictures of houses for years, from Better Homes and Garden magazines. Plans were drawn in concrete board, nail by nail and board by board. Daddy gave a life to Mama's dream. I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. Out here it's like I'm someone else. I thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could just come in, I swear I'll leave. Won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me. And you move on and you do the best you can. I got lost in this old world and forgot who I am. I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. Out here it's like I'm someone else. I thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could walk around, I swear I'll leave. Won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me. And then I'd like to dedicate this next song to my brother and sister, Jonathan and Monica, who aren't here, but I now celebrate Father's Day with us in spirit. And to all the fathers who have lost children, they're always with you. And we'll all meet again in heaven. And I wish my sister was here to sing with me, but she didn't come. I guess I didn't offer her enough money, but... all right. If I die young, bury me in satin, lay me down on a bed of roses, sink me in the river at dawn, send me away with the words of a love song. Oh, 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 oh. Lord, make me a rainbow, I'll shine down on my mother. She'll know I'm safe with you when she stands under my colors. Oh, and life ain't always what you think it ought to be, no. Ain't even gray, but she buries her babies. The sharp knife of a short life. Well, I've had just enough time. If I die young, bury me in satin, lay me down on a bed of roses, sink me in the river at dawn, send me away with the words of a love song. The sharp knife of a short life. Well, I've had just enough time. And I'll be wearing white when I come into your kingdom. I'm as green as the ring on my little cold finger. I've never known the loving of a man, but it sure felt nice when he was holding my hand. There's a boy here in town says he'll love me forever. Who would have thought forever could be severed by the sharp knife of a short life? Well, I've had just enough time. So put on your best boys and I'll wear my pearls. What I never did is done. A penny for my thoughts, oh no, I'll sell them for $1. They're worth so much more after I'm a goner. And maybe then you'll hear the words I've been singing. Funny when you're dead how people start listening. If I die young, bury me in satin, lay me down on a bed of roses, sink me in the river at dawn, send me away with the words of a love song. Oh, oh, the ballad of a dove. Go with peace and love. Gather up your tears, keep them in your pocket, save them for a time when you're really gonna need them. Oh, the sharp knife of a short life. Well, I've had just enough time. So put on your best boys and I'll wear my pearls.
Well, Raymond went and stole something from me. That's the way I was going to start it. I just recently got out of rehab. This one is going to be, it's the same thing as the Lord's Prayer, but it's from Luke 2-4, if y'all would like to say it. Otherwise, this is the version that I know. Let me know when y'all are ready. Luke 11:2-4. Way we always started stuff in rehab. We actually ended it typically, but this is kind of a little strengthener for me. I'm not much of a speaker. Our Father in heaven, hallowed by your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us day by day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, for we also forgive everyone who is indebted to us. And do not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. That's what I know. I am not Raymond. I am not a scholar of the church. I am a sinner. So I'm just going to tell you, my name is Victor. I'm a recovering raging alcoholic. When I say raging, I truly mean raging. Raymond asked me to come to speak basically from the time I was 17 to where I am now, to what has happened. But we got to take it back just a little bit further, because nothing just happened at 17. As Raymond has also told you with what he knows, we grew up in a different household. It was violent, it was alcoholism, but his was different. It was with my dad. When my dad left, I got a new stepfather. He wasn't violent in the aspect of fist. He was violent with voice. He was violent mentally. He liked to leave little notes letting you know just what kind of piece of crap you were. He was a very heavy drinker, and I learned 3 things from the man: how to drink, how to work, and how to be respectful to a woman, right? And, carry the groceries in. So that's what I saw when I grew up. That's all I saw when I grew up. It wasn't probably as bad as what it was for Raymond. There was a certain point where by the time I hit 12, he went to rehab. But when he got out of rehab, it doesn't mean it's better. He's still my stepfather, still EJ. By the time I was 13, once I turned 13, he considered me an adult. Stopped getting presents, there was no birthdays, there was no nothing. Christmas was nothing. I remember being probably 14 and I put up the Christmas tree. You know, things like that. That was just, like, what was there? You know, all other than just a bunch of junk. So anyways, by 13, I'm considered pretty much an adult. By 16, I moved out of the house because that's pretty much what he wanted. Doesn't mean I didn't ever move back in and out, you know, because you do that as a kid. But I moved in with my brother, our brother Joe, which probably wasn't the best idea. And then I saw some stuff there, and then we go to 17. If somewhere in my life somebody would have said this to me, like I said, I'm not a scholar of the Bible, but I've done a little bit of reading and stuff. And this is Proverbs 13:20. If one person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people might have came up to me on this and said, "He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed." I unfortunately was a companion of fools. I didn't start easy with drugs. I didn't say, "Hey, let me have a marijuana joint and smoke it and start with that." No, I started the hard way. I started with crystal meth. Started easy, the first way you always do it. You snort it. Get that up your nose, you get it going, man. It's a great high. I was kicking butt at work. You know, I'm in the restaurant industry, have been for 23 years. Next thing I know, man, I did that stuff. I felt great. I was running the line by myself. Woo! Then after a while, though, it wasn't about that anymore. It was about just doing the drug. And if anybody's in here at all has ever done drugs, there's the term I use. I don't know if anybody else uses it, but it's called a cherry high. Sorry about that. It's called a cherry high. You stop reaching that cherry high. So you do more and more and more. And, you know, you go from a quarter gram, half gram. Next thing you know, you got an 8 ball. I know you guys probably don't understand the terms. It's fine. If you all know the measurements, it's all math. 28 grams is an ounce. Okay, so anyways, so I was doing snort, still couldn't get it. I don't think you even know this. So I started shooting up. I needed that cherry high. I needed to have it. I shot up for about 1.5 years. By this time, I'm probably started at 17. Unfortunately, by the way, this drug was way too easy for me to get because it was from my sister. She was making it. And she was letting me have it for very cheap because she was making it. So I started shooting up, probably shot up close to 1.5 years. I'm lucky I don't have a bunch of track marks all over my arms. Then cherry high still wasn't there no more. Used to it. First time I did it, I shot it up and I ruined my friend's carpet. I threw all up over the place. It hit my system so hard. So anyways, in 12-step programs, they tell you, you know, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, all these steps you got to take. And I was 20 years old finally, 3 years deep and already shooting up. And I said, I got to take the 13th step. I got to go. So I left. I left Iowa and I moved down to New Mexico with our brother Joe. He was going to help clean me up. He sure did. He sure helped clean me up. I wasn't doing no meth no more. You know, I did the biggest mistake any user can do. What do? Substitute. So I started drinking. With any other drug, it hits you really quick. Heroin, meth, whatever you're doing, you do it, hits you, it's that. Drinking ain't that way. Drinking is what they call a progressive drug. It starts off as just a drink here, a drink there. You're out with buddies, you're out with pals. It's nothing. It's not an issue. It's whatever. Before you know it, you're a couple years in, and that 140 ounce that took me 3 days to drink, now I'm up to a 6-pack a day. Still not looking at it that way, though. Because I always said, man, I'm by myself. I ain't hurting nobody. Well, I ended up meeting a very young girl. She was 19 at the time. I was 22. Her name is Tanya. She's the mother of my oldest daughter. Her name is Taylor. So it's on my arm here. She's 17, just turned 17 on the 4th of June. Well, with my drinking, kept doing it. It just felt like you were supposed to do it. It's what you do as a man. You go to work, you work hard, you come home, you sit down, you have a drink. It's what a hard-working man does. She stayed with me for 5 years. I don't know how she got past the first one. And I'm pretty sure, as most women, they'll stay in a relationship because of the child. I hurt her. I'm going to be brutally honest about me. Sober, I am very quiet, humble, and now that's the worst thing to say. You can never call yourself humble. Once you call yourself humble, you really ain't humble. But it's the reality. But I like to think that I am. I like to hope that other people think that I am. I don't brag about myself. I don't talk a lot about myself. You probably don't even recognize me right now. I'm usually the guy that's sitting right over there with a half-shaved face, long raggedy hair, ball cap, and a Bears sweatshirt. Yeah, well, at least somebody did. So anyways, not problem. Do your thing. Okay. You got your thing. All right, let's do this, man. So anyways, I asked Raymond what he really wanted me to say. He caught me in the middle of a shift last night. I worked from midnight until 10:30 p.m. Went home, went to bed, woke up, and just came here. So I asked him outside what he really wanted. I made some notes to try to go by. I told him I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't know who out there is probably maybe drinking or doing anything or whatever it may be. Like I said, I'm two different people, just Jekyll and Hyde. While living in Raymond's house, you guys got to see the good part. You guys don't know me. I unfortunately beat her while I was drunk. I beat her bad. Put her in the hospital. I don't know where it comes from. You know, I was a quiet child growing up. Other than my stepfather, drinking and stuff and doing the emotional abuse, I wasn't a bad child. I never got in trouble. But for some reason, there's something inside these drugs and these alcohol things that just kind of, it brings out something inside you that maybe you didn't know you had, or something. I don't know how it works completely. I've got to do some more studying on that. But it brings out a different side. And I've had people ask me in counseling, so you just like to be violent? Is that what it is? Do you drink so you get mad? Like, no, I drink because it tastes good at the time. It's the problem is when I reach that 20th beer, that's when everything gets wrong. But needless to say, I hurt her, and I hurt her very bad. We separated after 5 years together, but we still communicated for 2 years after that. I still had contact with my daughter there at one point. After we separated, she was 4 years old, and she actually let me have sole custody of her for a while. I was just me and my daughter, and I was working, and guess what I was still doing? Still drinking. But I didn't neglect my daughter. That's the one thing I don't do. I don't neglect my kids. Anyways, we were on a phone call, and I'd been drinking. Go figure. And we got into an argument about something. I couldn't even tell you what it is. And the last thing I said to her is, I said, I wish I would have killed you. And she said, you'll never see your daughter again. At that time, my daughter was 6. She's 17 now. I haven't seen her for 11 years. But I'm getting close. I found her on Twitter, and she's letting me follow her. She's actually letting me like a few things without blocking me. So hopefully somewhere down the road I can get that fixed, but I know she knows about me. But during that time after we separated, I kept working because that's what a man does. A man just keeps working. I work for this Italian company. I move a lot. This is probably the longest, that I've ever stayed in one area. I'm a 1 year type of guy. I hit 1 year and I got to go somewhere else. I don't build relationships. I hate relationships. You get attached, something goes wrong somewhere. Always, it always does. So I don't stay anywhere. I consider myself a rambler man. I'm an outlaw. If you guys don't know, I love country music. I listened to the outlaw music. She changed the song came on. Listen to country, the song came on and said something about drinking. She changed the station. I'm like, you can't do that, man. You can't. It's just because they said they drank in the song doesn't mean I'm going to pull over at the store closest to me and, woo, gotta have it because the guy said he drank last night. So anyway, some time goes by, and I meet another woman. Yeah, again, another beautiful woman. And I want you to know something. I don't know how it happens, but I meet some of the most beautiful, smartest women ever. And I have no idea what they ever see in me. But I met this girl, Rosie, and we lost our first child, miscarriage. So we waited a few months to get over that, and we ended up having 2 beautiful children together. Her and I lasted 7 years. As you can tell, there's yet another term, lasted a certain amount of time, which means something ended. We have a beautiful 8-year-old boy named Julian, a 6-year-old girl named Jocelyn. She's Hispanic. We had to name them with J so that the way her family could actually pronounce their names. It's not a joke. I wanted different names. They couldn't say them, and I'm like, whatever, you guys got the J's, go for it. So we spent 7 years together, and the first year was the only good one. Both of these women have always said there's 2 different Victors. And there is 2 different Victors. And I'm telling you, man, the other one is no joke. He's 6'2", 225 pounds, and you want to go for it? Let's go for it. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put my pain on you. Before I'm done, you can knock me down, and I'm going to get back up. You're going to wear out. I got good stamina. The thing about it is, every time I did it, what I was trying to do was throw my pain onto somebody else. So, needless to be said, drunk yet again, I beat Rosie. But thankfully, she's a good woman. A very good woman and a very great mother. She didn't take my kids away from me. I have been up there to visit. I haven't been able to recently because of financial situations, but we're back on track now, so hopefully soon. But she lets me talk to him, stuff like that. And I'll be honest, I haven't been talking to him enough because of my embarrassment of drinking. She won't let me talk to him when I've been drinking. I understand that. I have no problem with that. We Skype and all that stuff. I don't know if you guys know what that is, the video calling, so I can actually see him and stuff. So it's different than being on the phone back in the day. You could pull it off and talk and, be drunk. It's different when they can see your red face and red eyes. And yeah, it's a tough one. So basically at the end of the day, she said it was done, it was over. She couldn't do it no more. And she left. So what did I do? I didn't try to fix myself. I refused rehab. I refused it. I truly believe in myself that I'm going to beat everything I've done. Every drug. I've done it all, man. Meth, thought I could beat it. Couldn't. Had to run away from it before I could stop. I've done more acid than probably the people that make it. Couldn't stop. So I lost her to drinking. She left. And when she left, down in the Southwest, see up here they sell cases of beer. Down in the Southwest, Arizona, New Mexico, they sell 30 packs. So I went and bought 2 30-packs. I'm a little guy. And I'll tell you right now, I ain't a guy and drink me under the table. I drank both those 30-packs one night. I thought I was going to die for the next 3 days. It was the worst. I was scared to go to sleep. I didn't think I was going to wake up. It was painful. I actually stopped drinking for 30 days after that because I was like, that was scary stuff. Did it make me stop? No. Because what did I do? Day 31, I celebrated the fact I made 30 days. Still wasn't going to quit. Because what did I say? I'm a rambling man. I'm an outlaw. That's what I always believed I was going to be. I honestly believed that I was going to die with a bottle in my hand. 3 months after Rosie left me, went on one of my most famous benders, you know. There's a person sitting here right now that understands my benders. They ain't no joke. They ain't no joke. I drink a lot. Let me rephrase that. So, my sister, bless her heart, I don't talk to her anymore. She's her own person and stuff, but I had moved down to Florida, because yet again I had to move somewhere else. And it was my payday, and when it's my payday, my sister loves me more than anything. And so, decided to go ahead and start doing some drinking. And I was getting this really strong 8.5% beer stuff. She was drinking whatever she drinks. And I actually went to bed and went to sleep. I was done, but it was almost 2 o'clock. Wow, man, what do you want? It's just almost 2, man. Come on, let's go back to the store real quick. Man, I'm trying to sleep. Come on, man, come on. We get up and we go. Go to the store, come back. I went and got myself some. I might as well. I took the walk. Anyways, we got into a huge fight about what, I don't know. I'm the youngest of a very old family. My oldest brother, I never even considered a brother. I consider him an uncle. That's the way it felt. You know, and then from there, everybody else is brothers. My brother Joe and my brother's sister Lori, they hurt me a lot growing up. You know, I don't know how. I mean, it's bad enough I'm the youngest. It's even worse that I'm the smallest. So trying to defend yourself is like impossible. So I was kind of bent. When I drank, I was kind of bent on revenge. I was going to get mine. And we got into that argument. And she actually started hitting me. And I hate to say it, like I would never use an excuse because I shouldn't have done it. But I was like, okay. I took her by the throat and I held her down until she passed out. Needless to say, the cops were called. I was taken to jail. In Jacksonville, Florida, which is no joke. Jacksonville, Florida county jails make prison look like cakewalk. I did 314 days in Duval County. And on the 314th day when I got released, well, let me take it this way real fast. Let me take it back a step on that. By this time, how old am I? How many years is that? 3 years now? So I've been 37. So by this time, I'm now 17 years in my drinking. And when I got to jail, at first I'm scared because I'm like, oh my God, I'm all alone. But there's something I didn't realize. I was already alone. I'd already pushed everybody away. I isolated myself. There was no more social drinking. There's a country song out there. I'm just going to just read a quick lyric. It's Chris Stapleton. And it says, I drink because I'm lonesome, and I'm lonesome because I drink. You push everybody away. There's a point where it becomes like an embarrassment. And so I'm sitting in jail, and I'm calling Raymond crying, like, dude, get me out of here, man. Like, this dude is 6'2", and he looks like he wants to make love to me. But I stayed. And I realized, what's the difference of being in here than being out there? I'm alone out there already. Might as well be alone in here. I went into jail at 148 pounds. I'm going to tell you what, though, I ain't going to let nobody get me. That's for sure. Like I said, I grow 6'2", 225 if I have to. 10.5 months later, doing my stuff, I did what I was supposed to do. AA meetings, went to the churches, whatever they could hold there. I walked out of that place at 185 pounds stacked. I decided 2 weeks in that I wasn't going to be that little guy that everybody's going to be messing with. The thing is this, is that the addiction of anything brings selfishness. Selfishness. I like to crack stupid jokes. Sometimes people get them, sometimes people don't. It's all right because it's funny to me. But I used to crack jokes to my two youngest kids' mom, Rosie. I used to always crack jokes with bills a month behind, still on time. Why did I say that? Because I had to go to the store and get me some more beer. Baby, call them, man. Just tell them you're going to pay half of it because I need that other $20. It's a selfish disease. Very, 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 very just different person when I'm sober compared to when I'm drinking. I don't know, man. And when only 2 people communicated with me the whole time I was locked up. And this is going to surprise you. This is going to surprise you a lot. One person you all already know. My brother Raymond. We talked every week. I used to write to him every day. I didn't even need a response. I used to write like poems and stuff like that, loneliness and stuff, and that's where I realized I'm already lonely. I've been lonely. I've pushed 2 of the most loving women, smartest women that I knew away from me. Lost my children. Why not just sit here and work out and listen to prison scriptures? Selfish disease, man. That bill can wait 1 more week. It ain't gonna shut it off for 2 more weeks. I still got to drink, people. So, Raymond came and picked me up from jail. Oh, I'm sorry, the other person that stayed in contact with me, Rosie, my 2 youngest kids' mom. I called her every Sunday, talked to her and talked to my kids. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Amazing woman. She didn't have to do that. I hurt her. 7 years with me. 7 years with me, man. That's probably like 30 years to some people in a bad in a relationship. It's painful. I don't know why she did it. She even sent me pictures of the kids, but that jail's a joke, and they won't let you have pictures of your kids. They won't let you have pictures of your kids hanging anywhere, so I never got to see them. So Raymond came and got me. I was 314 days sober at that point, but people like to say jail ain't really being sober. Well, I didn't drink in there, so I'm pretty sure I'm sober. They always think you got to go to all these, you got to pay for something to validate that you're sober. I came here, and I moved in with Raymond and Michelle, and I lasted 6 more months. I went 18 months sober. Drinking and drugs, you become a master of manipulation. Master of it. I can't even explain what that means, how to manipulate somebody so that way you can get what you want. I'm not going to lie. The last few times I came to church, I'd been drinking. That's why I stopped coming. I think probably the last, two times? Probably had about 8 beers before I walked in here. And I felt horrible. That's why I stopped coming. But anyways, back to the manipulation part. I met this beautiful woman over here, Mitzi. And manipulation. Go out to dinner, and I'm like, I'll be fine with 1 beer over dinner or whatever it is. Usually I drink Crown. Double, please. Don't give me no weak 1-shot thing. Give me the doubles with my dinners. And that's how that started with her on her than that, because she doesn't understand it. She does, but she doesn't truly understand the disease. So, yet again, I started drinking. And drinking a lot. A lot. I can't even explain it. It was bad. But I said, still not going to go to rehab, man, because I'm an outlaw. I'm not going to do it. I'll quit when I get ready to quit. Truth is, man, it ain't gonna happen unless you do what you gotta do about it. Mitzi and I have been together for 2 years. 2 years together on June 6th, actually. And I'm sure those 2 years have felt like 10. Not too long ago, just got released from jail again. Did 3 weeks in Williamson County because I hit her. Because that's what I do when I drink, apparently. The funny thing is if you know me like you know me now, I'll just sit back and be quiet and chill and don't even worry about nothing. Michelle always kind of laughed at me. I don't remember what I used to say, but it was always like, it's cool, it's chill, it'll work out. You always say stuff like that. I'm like, it will, it'll work out. That's how I am when I'm sober. But anyways, I struck Mitzi and I busted out the car window of a vehicle that I'm paying for. And so I had to go to Williamson County Jail, and I was there for 3 weeks. And yet again, I called Raymond for help. They said no. And I said, I'm going to disown you then. I'm tired of this. Obviously, I didn't. I'm up here today because Raymond asked me to come. He knows I'm not very much of a person. I like to stay quiet. I don't really talk unless be spoken to, but I owe it to the man to come up here and do something. And so I did 3 weeks in Williamson County, which was a vacation compared to Duval County. It really was. I could have hung. It was like vacation. I could have hung out there for about another 6 months, been fine. Except I wouldn't have had Mitzi with me. So I get out. Now I'm 3 weeks sober again, but in my head, it's a mental thing. I'm not there yet still. Start drinking again. And here at this point now, I've stopped becoming that man that goes to work all the time. Because now the drug's taken over. Get a job, go in, make me mad, whatever, I'm out of here. I got 23 years in this business. I'll just go down the street and get a job over there. But at this point now, the drinking isn't just getting off work, working as a hard man. This has now turned into waking up in the morning and drinking all day. Always had a plan. Got to be at work at 3. I could drink from, I could stop drinking about 12, 1 o'clock, throw some food on my stomach. 2 things an alcoholic will carry with them. If you ever see anybody do this, you know they're hiding something. Bubble gum and Visine. I got my chef pants. I have these cargo chef pants. In this pocket right here would always be bubble gum and Visine. Cover the alcohol, take away the red in the eyes. But there's a point to where you can't hide it no more. You can hide it early on. Early on you can hide it. People don't notice it. But whenever you're hitting your 20 years into it, you start seeing it in the eyes. You start seeing it in the movements. The person coming into work and they're trying to do something. And can't hide it no more. So I got this job. It's called Oak Steakhouse up in downtown Nashville. It's ran by a company called Indigo Road. And it's a great opportunity. It's an amazing opportunity already. And went to orientation. Of course, at the orientation, I'm hungover like a madman. I'm sitting there, and the owner comes up and talks because all the big dogs talk. And his name is Steve Palmer, and he's telling his story about the company and this and that, and he mentions how he is 15 years sober. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, man. 15 years, that's awesome. Then my executive chef jumps up telling his story. He's 8 years sober. So there I am sitting in the back of the room, because that's where I always sit, hung over, and I'm like, And this is a huge company. We're talking stores doing $6-7 million a year. This ain't no joke. This ain't no, McDonald's. And by this time, I've already put this woman through so much already. In 2 years, it ain't even funny. She's still standing by my side, constantly trying to just be there. It's really, at the end of the day, it's all she's trying to do, even after I hurt her. And so I heard that, and I was like, that's pretty awesome, man. There's no way I'm going to survive in this company doing what I'm doing. Raymond had sent me a text a few weeks back before that, somewhere in there. I know I didn't respond to it. Yes, I get all your texts. When I don't respond, it's probably because I'm just doing something else. But he sent me a text saying that he had known some people and stuff like that that could help and stuff like that. And he would help pay to be able to get me into rehab. Of course, I didn't take him up on the offer at the time. Why would I? By this time, I'm drinking more than I've ever drank in my life a day. And after that orientation for the job, I realized I needed to do something. I had to, because here's why, and this is exactly why. We had a few days off. We had a Sunday, Monday off, and they were supposed to go in Tuesday to start doing some stuff in the restaurant, because it was a brand new restaurant, not open or anything yet. We're going to do some stuff. So I told myself, you're going to drink Saturday, you're going to drink Sunday, and you're going to stay sober Monday, so that way you can go into work refreshed. Monday came. About 20 beers later, Monday, I realized I wasn't staying sober. Something I realized that's the biggest thing about this is I was lying to myself. I finally came to the realization of it. I was lying to myself. I've heard enough people and everything, but I'm a soldier, man. You got to understand it, man. I'm a man. Silent, strong type. But I had to come to a realization I was lying to myself. It still took a while to get into rehab because, I got a hold of Ram, got their information, Michelle and them, pass it around with Mitzi. And then we had to do like grants and stuff like that. She ended up finding a place for me in Chattanooga called Cadis. And I went down there, and they do like different programs depending on what they think. They do like a 28-day program, 21-day program, 14-day program. They put it for 21 days, but they said if you come in here and you show what you're doing, yada yada, that you're into it, we'll put you on the 14-day. Well, they told me what happens when the people first get into the rehab, you got to detox. But let me tell you the story on that part. They wouldn't even admit me into the rehab when I first got there. You want to know why? You got to have certain blood alcohol content, and you got to have certain blood pressure. I was that far from having a stroke and didn't even know it. Yes, before I went to rehab, what did I do? Gulp, 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 gulp. Get it in one last time. I didn't drink for about 12 hours before I went to go into rehab. 12 hours, people. Do you know what the alcohol level is when you get pulled over and you get arrested? What's it, 0.08, I think the law is now? 0.08 is your blood alcohol content. 12 hours after my last drink, they gave me a breathalyzer and I blew a 0.28. A 0.28, 12 hours after my last drink. Death is 0.35 to 0.4. I have a heck of a tolerance. So I had to go to the emergency room first. Still got the scar, gave me an IV. I was bad off, man. About halfway there, I told Mitzi, turn this car around. Turn this car around. I was like, please, just please. I was crying. I didn't want to do it. I was scared, man. I can tell you right now, I can tell you a lot of people that do know me don't see me cry very often. And this is actually, to me, a funny story. I asked her to stop about 8 miles outside of Chattanooga so I could just get out and walk. Like I was having a hard time walking, breathing. Like I was real bad. It was real bad. And so we got out and we walked and went to the restroom. And she went back. We went back to the car. And she was going to call the place real quick just to make sure we had to go for admission. And I jumped back out of the car because I had to go back to the restroom real quick. She thought I was running away. I came out of the bathroom. I came out of the building, and she's standing right there at that seat. She's like, what am I going to do, jump in somebody's truck and take off or something? Like, I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere. But that's how much she cares. So, so I ended up having to go to the emergency room. They stuck an IV in me. They gave me 2 shots of Ativan, actually, to be able to get my blood pressure down. It was 200 over whatever I was on stroke level. So they finally got that down, and then the doctor gave me a good speech. He's a really good old man. His name is Larry Stone. I'll never forget it. And he gave me a really good speech, and the thing that amazed all of them the most was how healthy my body still is. And I put that on working out a lot when I was a teenager and working out a lot later on, and working out even when I was in jail. That's the only thing I could probably saved me. And he gave a really good speech. I couldn't tell you the whole thing he said, but it was good. Finally, they got me down. They gave me they gave me 1 shot of Ativan, and I could feel my body cooling down. And then they asked if I wanted another one, and then she didn't let me speak. She just said, give it to him. The nurse goes, yes, ma'am. And so they gave me another shot of Ativan, and everything got down. So I finally got admitted into rehab. My first time I finally admitted to do it. I realized I had to do it. I had to. I wasn't beating it on my own. I was just lying to myself. And as I lie to myself, I'm lying to everybody else around me, doing everything in my power to try to hide it. I didn't want to hide anymore. You know? And so I did the program, and they tell you, when you're detoxing, most people detox before they go to rehab. I detoxed in rehab. So they're like, you're going to be, they give you all these sheets that you got to do and stuff like that. It's all this, to get through everything, you got to admit everything that's inside yourself from the time you're a child and everything like that. And nobody ever does that, she says. Just go we're talking 13-hour days every day of meetings, on top of needing to do your stuff. And so she's like, all I need you to do first week is detox and go to your meetings. Don't worry about that. Nobody ever gets those projects done. Well, they don't know me. I'm having night sweats like crazy. I begged and begged. They have a drug called Librium that they give you when you're detoxing. That way you don't go and have seizures, and that you can also sleep. They didn't give it to me my first day. I don't understand why. The next day they did my blood pressure. They took it every day. Apparently I have a natural high blood pressure. I'm on medication for it now. But then you mix with the drink and it just makes a dangerous combo. But they took my blood pressure and they're like, it's still so high. And I'm like, well, give me what I need, please. So finally they started giving me high blood pressure medicine, and they started giving me my Librium so I could sleep. Because I was waking up for my first 3 days, my bed was soaked. It was bad. So I did my program, flying colors, got all my projects done. There's a part of it where you got to tell your story. And it's the very last thing you do. Like, you got to tell a story about what you hope did that. You got to tell a story about, like addiction and how you're going to beat it. But the biggest thing was at the end, there's 3 things you got to write about. And it's your childhood, then it's your teens, and then it's your, as an adult. They didn't give me enough paper. But I wrote it, and I did it, and it worked. It worked. I think that's what I needed to do more than anything, was to get it out. And I'll be honest, losing Taylor, my firstborn, kills me to this day. Rosie, my ex, told me a long time ago, she's like, you're never going to be 100% until you get her back in your life. And that's my goal, and I'm hoping I can. And I'm trying. Three things made me go to rehab. First, I admitted I was lying to myself. Second is because I want to grow old with Mitzi. And the third is I want to keep that job because, trust me, in 2 years it's going to be different. So I did it. I finally admitted I had to do it. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff that happened in between. If you ever look at my right hand, there's a lot of scars on them. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know why I had, but I had to get it out, and unfortunately, I took it out on the people that love me the most. You know, I'm just a cook, and I'm engaged to an attorney. People ask me, how did that happen? I was like, because I'm good looking, man. We already know I'm the pretty one in the family, right? We got that down. We figured that out. We got that. So anyways, last day of that I was in rehab, we were doing an AA meeting. And you know, you sit through this stuff with these people, and you watch the same people still crying every day, still going through whatever emotions, and you're wondering, is it really helping to them to a point? Like, are they really accepting it, what they're really trying to get out of it? You know, I don't know. I don't know if they are. You know, there are so many people that were repeat people. Like, why just keep going to rehab? Why? It's your 9th time here, man. Just accept it. That's my philosophy. You can go twice. I'll give you twice. But if you're in there for your 9th time, man, apparently you're just needing a bed to sleep on. So anyways, my last day of rehab, we had an AA meeting. And we have these things you got to fill out every day. In the morning, you got to fill out an affirmation of yourself. It's a positive thing that's got to start with an I am. My last day, my affirmation is, I am, how did I write it? I am the creator of my own self. You got to set goals, and you got to meet the goals. Everybody's goals are all kind of cheesy. I mean, a lot of people just copied everything, and I think that's where they fail in rehab, and that's why they go back, because they're not trying to grow. You got to grow in rehab. You got to change your daily goals. You got to change your affirmations. You got to change it, and then at the end of the day, you go back through, and did you reach your goals, and all this and that, and the positive things to say about yourself. You know, how are you feeling right now? A lot of people will be like, I'm upset. I'm this. I'm that. Mine, whatever it was. Mine was positive, happy, serene, because that's the way I was maintaining myself. So a lot of people say, what are the things, you know, what are you using, what's your tool to get through to, you know, for your recovery? Everybody would say God or Jesus, God or Jesus, God or Jesus. Great, awesome. So my last day, I brought my Bible out. Oh, by the way, so I want to say I forgot to take with me. Imagine that. I was drunk. So Mitzi drove 2.5 hours to bring me my Bible. And I want to just read real quick what she wrote in here. And I'm leaving it in there. She said, baby, I love you more than you can possibly understand. We're all cheering you on. Be strong. You got this. Love, Mitzi. You know? And believe it or not, even drunk, I'm a hopeless romantic. I keep things. I wish Steve was here right now. Steve gave me this. Jeremiah 29:11, we all know it. It's one of the more popular ones, is it not? I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, and plans to give you hope in a future. I kept that. I read that every morning. You know, beautiful picture of my little girl when she was a baby. And a love letter that Mitzi wrote me 2 years ago. That's the kind of guy I really am. And that's the kind of guy I want to continue to be. This is just a small testimony. This is not the end of my story. This is just the beginning. So, my last day, I had to ask permission, even though everybody talks about God and Jesus is getting them through. I had to ask permission to read something. And I hope nobody took it that I was talking about who I was sitting next to there, because that wasn't the idea. I asked everybody to raise your hand if you have a drug dealer or whoever supplied you out there waiting for you once you walk out these doors. Because the hardest part ain't getting through rehab. The hardest part is walking out them doors and facing the reality again. Obviously, most of them raised their hand. So, I had just been going through stuff. Like I said, I'm a Psalms and Proverbs kind of guy. And this one just came about. And I read it to them. And I don't know if they caught on to it. I'm hoping today that whoever's still sitting there really realized what I was talking about. This is Psalms 26. As I said to Raymond, my book is a little more on the simplified version. So, so if you have a book on you, turn to Psalms 26. And what I was trying to do was help these people from when they walk out these doors. And I felt that this was a good one to help from the time that they walk out these doors. And I'll explain to myself, the way I interpret it might not be the way it's actually written, but that's the way I felt it. So Psalms 26, it's a Psalm of David. It says, "Vindicate me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity. I have also trusted in the Lord. I shall not slip. Examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Try my mind and my heart, for your loving kindness is before my eyes, and I have walked in your truth. I have not sat with the word, how do you say it? Idolatrous, there we go. Idolatrous mortals, nor will I go with hypocrites. I have hated the assembly of evildoers, and I will not sit with the wicked. I will wash my hands in innocence, so I will go about your altar, O Lord, that I may proclaim with the voice of thanksgiving and tell of all your wondrous works. Lord, I have loved the habitation of your house and the place where your glory dwells. Do not gather my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloodthirsty men, in whose hands is a sinister scheme, and whose right hand is full of bribes. But as for me, I will walk in my integrity. Redeem me and be merciful to me. My foot stands in an even place. In the congregations, I will bless the Lord." What I was trying to help these people understand is when you walk out of here, do not sit with those people anymore. Do not hang with those people anymore. Because if you do, you're going to go right back. Live with your integrity. Have integrity. This happened to me just the other day at work. We were doing a catering. And it was at the end of it. It was a big wedding reception. And there was leftover wine and stuff like that. And the servers were drinking it. And they were calling it coffee. I thought they were actually making coffee because I wasn't paying attention. And they're like, "Anybody want some coffee?" And I'm like, "I'll have some coffee." So the server goes, "Come here." And I walk over and I see her pouring a big old glass of white wine. And I said, "Nah." No, I go, "I can't." And then I saw her face and she was like, "I am so sorry." And she took it and she pushed it way back to where my little short hands couldn't reach it. So just on short, there's a lot of stuff I could tell you that I've done wrong, the things that have happened to me, life-threatened guns held to me. There's no reason to go through and all that. When you're involved in a drug world like I was, it's going to happen. The big thing about this for myself is, it's being Father's Day and all, and I'm glad to know I got 2 of my children in my life right now. And by doing this, I'm hoping I get that third one back. And, sorry, it's my little white chip. I'm 10 days sober now. Thank you. And I've been working a lot here lately, but I'll be going to actually finally start hitting my first AA meetings on Tuesday morning. And then hopefully I'm going to look around and try to find an outpatient treatment thing if need be. But thank you for letting me share the story. I know it's probably a little bit on the depressing side. But I think you all needed to know who I really am. y'all.
I remember Daddy's hands folded softly in prayer and reaching out to me when I had a nightmare. You could read quite a story in the calluses and lines. Years of work and worry had left their mark behind. I remember Daddy's hands, how they held my mama tight and patted my back when I'd done something right. There are things I've forgotten that I loved about the man, but I'll always remember the love in Daddy's hands. Daddy's hands were soft and kind when I was crying. Daddy's hands were hard as steel when I'd done wrong. Daddy's hands weren't always gentle, but I've come to understand. There was always love in Daddy's hands. I remember Daddy's hands were working till they bled, sacrificed unselfishly just to keep us all fed. If I could do things over, I'd live my life again and never take for granted the love in Daddy's hands. Daddy's hands were soft and kind when I was crying. Daddy's hands were hard as steel when I'd done wrong. Daddy's hands weren't always gentle, but I've come to understand. There was always love in Daddy's hands. There was always love